Hello, beautiful peoples. What are you doing here? Let's get started of the news. Let's get started the news of. Let's get started the news of 20. Let's get started. Let's get started the news of 18 March 2023. You know our SSB is near, so we have to be more advanced and more futures towards our goal and the ambition that we have put in the forward. This is the Eric Garcetti. Eric Garcetti. One second. That last year news US and Y. Eric Garcetti, US ambassador. US ambassador. M. US ambassador. US ambassador. 18 March. Okay, so just started here 18 March 2023. So first news was okay, beautiful people. So we have to started our news. Firstly, Ramsey Yadav is a Nepal vice president. Nepal vice president. Ramsey Yadav. Okay, so just read this news. Kathmandu, what is happening in the Nepal that you have seen already in the Ramsey Prasad Yadav, a senior leader from the Madhis region, was elected as the Nepal vice president on the Friday in further boost to the coalition's coalition government headed by the Prime Minister Pushpa Kumar Ramsey Prasad Yadav, a candidate from the Janata Samajwadi Party, comfortably defeated is the nearest rival Astha Lakshmi Sakya of CP and UML to become the Himalayas National third vice president and the first from the Madhis region bordering India's Yadav 52 secured 30,000 votes against 16,000 secured by Sakya according to the Election Commission. Yadav had the support of the Nepali Congress, CP and the Maoist Center, CP and Unified Socialist. For the another fringe parties, Rasastriya Prajanta Party did not take part during the vice presidential voting held on the Friday. Likewise, Mamta Jha from Janamat Party was secured 2,537 votes. Pramila Yadav from the JSP Nepal itself, through she announced her with the Dhrawal in the middle way, got 48 votes. Okay, there are 333 federal parliamentary members and 550 provincial assembly members who were eligible voters during the vice presidential election. The weightage of the vote of the federal MP is 79 and that is the province assembly member of is 48. The outcome of the election comes as a relief for the government headed by the Prime Minister Prachanda as the former PM KP Sharma Oli withdraw his support to his government. Okay. Ion China. Australia to get 220 Tomahawk missile. Tomahawk missile. US to Australia. Tomahawk. Okay. Okay, you can see that the Australia said Friday a deal to buy 220 US Tomahawk cruise missile was essential for keeping adversaries at the bay at the Canberra ratchets up defense spending to the counter growing Chinese military closest. Defense Industry Minister Party Congress said the potent long range weapons would be deployed first to existing surface ships and later to a new fleet of the nuclear-powered submarines. A Pentagon agency revealed a sale on Thursday and put the deal's value at the up US 895 million. The weapons give Australia is a large essential to strike folks from the more than the 1,000 kilometers away, something that experts say is a fearsome deterrent for any would-be foe. Long-range strike is at the heart of the government's commitment of the equipping the Australian Defence Forces, our national security and our defence interest, keeping adversaries at the bay, Convoy told reporters. Tomahawk missile first gained widespread public attention during Operation Surtstorm, the 1999 US mission to repel repel Saddam Hussein's invasion of Kuwait. Word of Australia's latest big-ticket defence purchase uh, comes days after the US, British, and the Australian leaders unveiled plans to kit Canberra out with the five US nuclear submarines before co-developing its own model, acquiring the submarines that can travel vast distance without the need to surface puts Australia in an elite club and at the forefront of the US-led efforts to push back against the Chinese military expansions. The Tomahawk will first be the use in Australia existing Hobart-class destroyers and then the US Virginia-class submarines. Virginia-class submarines when they are delivered from the early 2030s. Next, Xi to meet Putin in Moscow next week. Okay, this is very important news. It will be China's president first Russia visit since Ukraine invasion. Announcement comes after the rare Beijing Kiwi phone sells. Okay, China's top leader Xi Jinping will travel to Russia to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin next week in a visit that could have broad implications for Moscow war in the Ukraine and then the troubled relationship between the Beijing and the Washington. Xi expected to visit Russia from Monday on the Wednesday. China's foreign minister said the Kremlin said in a statement. This will be the first visit of the Russian since the countries launched the invasion of the Ukraine 1 year ago. The trip will be watched closely by the US and the Europe, who are frustrated with China's diplomatic and economic support to the for Russia. In recent weeks, the Biden administration has warned China in considering accelerating its support for the Russia by providing weapons for it in the use of Ukraine. In accusations that Beijing has denied, China's statement announcing Xi visit on Friday. Xi visit to increase the mutual trust and understanding between the two countries, which is said had established a new paradigm for the international relations. China would seek to play mediating role between the Russia and the Ukraine. Spokesperson Wang Wenbin said on the Friday President Xi Jinping visit to Russia this time is also for peace. Wang said when asked whether Xi would try to push Putin to seek a political settlement with Ukraine. China's propositions can be summed up in the one sentence, which is pursued peace and promote skills. The Kremlin said talks between Putin and Xi would center on the comprehensive partnership and strategic cooperation between the two countries. China has cast itself as a rare neutral party, well positioned to negotiate a political settlement between Ukraine and Russia. The country recently released a position paper calling for an end of the war, but the document was widely criticized by the Western leaders for lacking concrete plans and avoiding demands that could hurt China's close ties with Russia. Xi has sought to brush his image as a global statement, most notably with the announcement last week that Beijing had brokered a surprise denial to the restored diplomatic relationship between Saudi Arabia and Iran. That agreement Kazmi, after talks in both sea does had expressed a willingness to meet ties. It is unclear with separately with the Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky. On Thursday, the foreign ministry of the Ukraine and the China spoke over the phone on a rare official contact. Daimo Kuleba, Ukraine's foreign minister, said the two discussed a principle of the territorial integrity. China said its foreign minister Qin Gang told the Ukraine counterparts of the Beijing would continue to play a constructive role in the beginning end of the conflict and restoring peace. Turkey to back Finland's bid to join NATO. Istanbul, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said Turkey's to back Finland's bid to join NATO. Erdogan. Istanbul, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said Friday that his government would move forward with the ratifying Finland's NATO obligation, paving the way for the cooperation countries to join the military bloc ahead of Sweden. The breakthrough came in the Finnish President Sauli Niinisto was in the Ankara to meet with Erdogan. Both Finland and Sweden applied to become NATO member 10 months ago. In wake of the Russia invasion of the Ukraine, NATO requires the minimum unanimous approval of 30 existing members to expand, and Turkey and Hungary are the only countries that have not yet ratifying the Nordic nations' bids. The Turkish government accused both Sweden and Finland of being too soft on groups that it deems to be terror organizations, but expressed more reservations about Sweden when it comes to fulfilling its pledge in the trilateral memorandum. To understanding, we have seen that Finland has taken authentic and concrete steps. Erdogan told a pressure in following the meeting with Niinisto, the sensitivity of our country's security and based on the progress that has been made in the protocol of Finland's accession to NATO, we have decided to initiate the ratification process in our parliament. The president added, with the Erdogan agreement, Finland application can now go to Turkish parliament, where the president party and its allies hold as a majority. Ratification is expected be before Turkey holds the presidential and the parliamentary elections scheduled on the May 14. Commenting on the Turkey's willingness to consider ratifying Sweden's accessions to NATO, Erdogan said it would depend on the solid steps Sweden will take. ICC issues arrest warrant for Putin over war crimes. Okay, this is also important in Amsterdam. The International Criminal Court issued the arrest warrant on the Friday against Russian Vladimir Putin, accusing him for the war crime or illegal deportations of the children from Ukraine in more than caused the outrage of the Kremlin. Putin is only the third serving president to have been issued the ICC arrest warrant after the Sudan's Omar al-Bashir and the Libya's Muammar Gaddafi. His forces have been repeatedly accused and abused during the Russia's years-old invasion of its neighboring Ukraine's mandate investigated body with the week prescribed during Russia. Repeatedly accused of the both Russian invasion of the Ukraine, including the UN mankind investigating body with the which prescribed shoulder making children watched loved ones being raped. Moscow has repeatedly denied accusations that his forces have committed at atrocities during the invasion, while it is unlikely that Putin will end up in a court anytime soon. The warrant means that the could hang if traveling to any ICC member state. The ICC issued the warrant on suspicion of the unlawful deportations of the children and unlawful transfer of the people from the territory of the Ukraine to the Russian Federation. The court also issued a warrant from Maria Lavava Belova, Russia's Commissioner for Children's Rights, on the same charges. Russia has not concealed a program under which it has brought through thousands of Ukrainian children to Russia, but presents it is a humanitarian campaign to protect orphans and children abandoned, abandoned in the conflict zone. In the first reaction from Moscow Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zarakova said Russia was not a party to the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov ICC outrageous and unacceptable, and that any decision of the court were null and void. With respect to Russia, senior Ukrainian applauded the decision, but the country's prosecutor general Andrei Kostin hailing its historic for the Ukraine and the entire international law system. After Poland, now Slovakia pledges 13 MiG-29s to Kiev. The government of Slovakia said on a Friday that it would send 13 Soviet designed fighter jets to the Ukraine a day after the similar announcement of the Poland's president, marking a possibly significant from the NATO's allies in the increasing arms supplies to the Kiev. Slovakia, which borders both Ukraine and Poland, had said a month ago that it is ready to send MiG-29 fighter jets to the Ukraine. Promises must be kept, Slovakia PM Eduard Heger wrote the Twitter. He did not satisfying the timing of any delivery. The news came a day after the surprise announcement of the Poland's president that the country would send the MiG-29 just to the Ukraine. Waiting days move to the appeared, intending to open the door to more advanced warplanes from NATO allies. This would be the first warplanes sent to the Ukraine by the NATO countries. Ukraine in its Eastern European allies have been pushing for the advanced fighters, particularly for the US F-16. The US has officially the US experienced other reluctance through officials have seen the administration had not ruled out deciding later to provide them, or more likely working out an agreement to allow another countries to send them. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov meanwhile said the fighter jets given to the Ukraine would be destroyed and repeated that the Western arms deliveries to Kiev would not Iran China brokered Saudi peace deal will help India. क्या? Iran China provoked Saudi peace deal with Tehran seeks Disemptations of the crude exportation. Iran said on the Friday that its peace agreement with Saudi Arabia. Iran said on the Friday that its peace agreement with Saudi Arabia, which was brokered by China, should be a concern to the India as a peace and stability in the Gulf will benefit Indian diaspora as well. Tehran also shouted resumptions of the crude exports to the India, cutting Delhi's decision to ramp up its crude imports from the Russia despite pressure from the US and other Western countries to curb its economic engagement with Moscow. India is not Taiwan or South Korea. India could easily resist pressure from the West as it has resisted over the buying oil from the Russia. We hope that India will start importing oil from Iran, said Iranian ambassador to India Iraj Elahi said India has not been importing crude for 4 years due to US sanctions. Elahi said peace and stability in the Gulf will result in greater economic engagement that would include India's trade ties with various countries in the region. On the Chahabar port, the envoy said Iran believes that the Indian government has a positive approach towards it. Of course, there are shortcomings from both sides. We understand the willingness of the Indian government towards the Chahabar. We believe that Chahabar is not just economic issues. The ambassador said there is a need to view of the Chahabar port projects as the strategic engagement and not just an economic partnership. For India, Chahabar is important. Iran has different ports in all parts of the Persian Gulf. We can use different ports for transit and import and export. But Chahabar is an oceanic port. It is close to the Indian Ocean and closest to the route of Afghanistan. Closest to the route of and closest to the closest to the route of Afghanistan, he said. PM Hasina, Saudi Arabia, Chinese and the Iranian officials during the meeting of Beijing in System March and photo. PM Hasina to inaugurate pipeline today. PM Narendra Modi and his Bangladesh counterpart Sheikh Hasina will inaugurate the Indian-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline on the Saturday through the video conference. The government said in a statement, this is the first cross-border energy pipeline between the two countries, built in an estimated cost of 377 crores. Of the total amount, the Bangladesh part of the pipeline was cost. Summer is here. Lemon prices in city jumps to 200 rupees kg per week. Summer is here. Lemon prices in city. Lemon prices in city. Lemon prices in city jumps 200 kg per Noida. If you find the lemon wedges missing from the plate of sadal or nimbu pani not tasting as a refreshing, blame it on the price rise. Lemon prices in the city have shot up 200 as a kg from 150 value a week ago, while vegetable sellers blamed it on the increasingly demand during summer. Those selling chaat, sikanji and lime water said they had no option but to cut down on the use of tangy fruit. So lemon wedges have vanished off plates of kebabs and salad, and glass of nimbu pani is being made with the only half of lemon instead of the whole one. On Friday afternoon, class 12 student Tapas Ranjan found something missing in the lemonade he bought from the usual vendor near Sector 12. In summer, I take nimbu pani regularly, but in the glass of lemonade today, its taste more likely like plain water and the less lemony. Srikant Rawat, who sold him the drink, said he had little option but to check the use of lemon. Now lemon are selling out. This means one lemon will cost around 10 rupees on an average. The price of the glass of lemonade is 10 rupees too. If I used one whole lemon for the drink. What will I earn? Asked Rawat, who sells peanuts in winter. Vegetable sellers in the city's retail markets agreed that the lemon prices have soared in the past week. Sonu Kumar, a vegetable seller in the Indian market in the Sector 27, has come with a basket in a lemon on Friday. One lemon is being sold for 10 rupees last week, and the retailer price of the lemon was 120 kg. Today it's selling for the 200. We got lemon and the other vegetable from the Azadpur and the Gazipur mandis in the Delhi. The price have increased in the mandis only, so we have to increase our rates as well, he said. Ranjit, another vegetable seller in Sector 27, said there were different qualities of the lemon in the market. The good quality will cost 200 a kg. There is another quality which is being told as the 150, he said. For homemaker, it is an increase in the pocket pinch. Lemon rates have been increased considerably last week. I bought 250 grams of lemon for 30. Today it is costing me around 50 rupees. Someone should keep a check on the price, said Anu Chauhan, a resident of the Sector 41. Retail vegetable vendors uh, Retail vegetable vendors feared the price might rise further in March last year. Lemon prices had soared to Arast. The management of the Noida Phool Mandi, which is oversees the vegetable markets too, said it would conduct a drive to ensure customers would not overcharge. We get lemons either from Delhi or Karnataka. The demand of the lemon has increased with the onset of the summer. In the wholesale market, a kilo of lemon is to be soaring. We will conduct a drive. Here we will take the action to the retailers are found overcharging, said Sanjay Kumar Singh, the Mandi secretary. DRDK Gupta, the chairperson of the Felix Hospital in the Sector 137, explained the lemons should be used in the different drinks to keep people hydrated in the summer. It is also a good source of vitamin C which saves people from sunstrokes. Normally, lemon prices are known to soar in summer. Okay, Aravali Mining's not reported shares. NGT is miffed. Gurgaon and annoyed that reports it had shout from the Haryana government during hearing on illegal mining in the Aravallis had not been filled. The National Green Tribunal has been four senior officers another month's time to submit them, saying it will summon them otherwise. Affidavit of the Chief Secretary Government of the Haryana and the reports to the of the DGP Haryana, the Director Mining and Geology Haryana, and the Member Secretary HSPCB have not been filled. The tribunal noted on its order on the October which alleged stones were being cleared off him hills, the 16 locations across Gurgaon, and they knew despite of the Supreme Court ban on the mining. The Supreme Court banned mining in the Aravallis of the South Haryana in 2009, but legal acquiring stones for construction has gone in some parts. Regardless, we also consider personal appearance of the officers during the authorized by the Haryana DGP. The mining Director of the Principal Chief Conservator of Forest Jagdish Chandra before the tribunal on the due to next day due to the hearing of the essential producing relevant records. Okay. China building borders infra at hectic peace. Army chief. China building borders in factory. New Delhi. China continues to build border infrastructure development in a very hectic pace and has not reduced troops along the LAC. Army Chief General Manoj Pandey Army Chief General Manoj Pandey said Friday amidst the 3-year military confrontations in eastern Ladakh. Overall, the situation along the LAC is stable, but we need to keep a very close watch as it develops. He said, the People's Liberation Army has kept around 50,000 troops forward deployed, along with heavy weaponries, since making multiple incursions into eastern Ladakh in April-May 2020. The Indian Army too has a reboost deployment in all three sectors of the 3,488 kilometers along LAC, stretching from eastern Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh with the high level of operational preparedness. We have adequate reserves to deal with any contagious agencies. With the infusion of new technology and the weapon system, our capabilities development in an ongoing endeavor. Equally, we are focusing on infrastructure development, especially in the forward areas like roads, helipads, etc. General Pandey said, speaking to the India Today conclave, expressed the Army Chief expressed hope the diplomatic and the military talks with China will resolve the remaining friction points at the strategic located Disang Plains and the Damchok in eastern Ladakh. Safety paramounts. Government on helmet of 6 soldiers. Depending the move of introduce new ballistic helmets of the 6 soldiers, the government on Friday said the safety of troops was paramount and all-round protection was needed for them to tackle the newer and the emerging threats of warfare. Sikh troops battling terrorism have been wearing bulletproof patka over the cloth patka. Tank crews of the armored regiment also wear padded communications headgear. Junior Defence Minister Ajay Bhatt said in Lok Sabha the Defence Ministry has issued the tender of 12,070 and ballistic helmet for Sikh troops. This had led some Sikh religious and political leaders to oppose the move and contend the wearing helmets instead of turbans was against the tenets of the Sikhism. India overrides objections by Pak to host G20 meeting in J&K. India's overrides objections by Pak to host. India will host a senior official level meeting of G20 culture ministers in Jammu and Kashmir in May, overriding objections by overriding the objections by Pakistan, which had lobbied member states like China, Turkey and Saudi Arabia to prevent the Indian government from hosting any such meeting in the UT. Official sources said the meeting will be senior G20's official had said countries discussing Indian presidency priorities like protection and prescriptions of the culture prosperity, harness living heritage of the sustainable future, promotion of the cultural industry and the leveraging of the digital technologies for the protection of the culture. India's permanent representative Ruchira Kamboj told the UN Thursday that India will host 56 meetings across the length and the breadth of the country, taking across the length and the breadth of the country, taking G20 from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. She said under the Indian presidency, G20 meeting will be held in all 28 states and the 8 UTs of the Indias. A G20 related meeting is taking place in Arunachal Pradesh next week. The US, China, and the Indonesia had held G20 meetings in 12, 14, and the US, China, and Indonesia had held G20 meetings in 12, 14, and 25 cities respectively. While we are officially announcement, it is awaited. The center had last year asked the local administration to prepare for G20 meet in the valley by giving Srinagar a facelift. For India, the meeting will offer an opportunity to show how the situation in the valley has normalized after the revocations of the special status of the erstwhile state and the underscore the potential of the tourism in the UT. Pakistan sees any proposal for G20 meeting in J&K signed to seek international legitimacy and said last year that the member state should be fully cognizant of all the imperatives of the law and justice. Islamabad has sought support from its allies like China, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey to China faces ICC arrest warrant for war crimes. The International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Russian Vladimir Z to meet next month. Turkey set to back Finland's NATO bid. Turkey's set to back Finland's NATO bid. Finland accusing him for personal responsibilities of abductions of children from Ukraine. Abduction. Moscow dismissed the move. Moscow diminished the move in the courts. Uttarakhand courts sentences 7 to the families to life imprisonment for double murder in 2000. Gujarat High Court grants Delhi High Court asked Delhi government center to help team. Okay, that's all for today, guys. We have completed our news of 18 March 2023. This is a long session, I know, but you know that's what we do. We have to be doing. Firstly, we have completed our 9 days news. The first news was Ramche Yadav is the Nepal. Ramche Yadav is the Nepal new vice president, and 220 Tomahawk missile. US will give 220 Tomahawk missiles to Australia. Z to meet Putin in Moscow next week. Turkey to back Finland's bid to join NATO. Erdogan. ICC issues arrest warrant from Putin over war crimes. After Poland, now Slovakia pledges. After Poland, now Poland and Slovakia. MiG-29. Slovakia. China brokered Saudi peace deal. Iran. Okay, and the lemon prices will go to Aravali Mining not reports as NGT is miffed. China's building border infra at hectic peace army chief. and safety parameters government on helmets on the Sikh soldiers. Okay, now this is also a very good news. India overrides objection by Pak to host G20 meets. India overrides objections by Pak and Putin fails ICC for international war crimes. So okay, love you all. We have just completed our news session of the 18 March 2023. What are you doing, guys? You know that this is geopolitics. There is no one will help you, will give you a good source. You have to, you is only responsibility to take you forward or give you the best examples. So love you all. Let's get meet after the some time. Love you all, guys. Love you all. Love you. Okay, guys, let's meet. Okay, guys, love you all.